Hi, thanks so much for joining me. Let's go ahead and take a look at today's cards. The first card that we have for the day is the King of Wands. So we may be coming across an individual that has a really strong personality that kind of comes into a room and fills up the room with their sense of self. It's a Leo ruled card, and Leo can sometimes be associated with someone who has a really strong sense of self. And sometimes that sense of self is very dominion kind of oriented, like they want to rule over people. And sometimes they are a person who has a really innate leadership quality in them, and it's a question of whether or not you come across an individual that leads from a sense of authority or from a sense of what's the most honorable thing to do. And so this tells us that we're going to be in a situation today either with an individual that has these characteristics and qualities, or we will be faced with that aspect of ourselves and how we want to interact with a situation. If we see that it needs to be shifted and we need to engage with it in some way, how do we engage with it? Do we engage with it from a sense of authority, or do we engage from it with a sense of leadership from the heart? And what is the, how do we be an honorable person in life and move through this situation? The second card that we have for today is also associated with Leo. What? It's the Strength card. This is the major arcana. So how this card is different is that this is telling us that there is some piece of our own nature that we are going to have to work with today, and some way that we meet this situation is really dependent on how much self-control we have. Now, major arcanas are cards that are major life lessons, things that we're doing to work on ourselves, things that we are, having to face in ourselves and having to face in life circumstances. It's our work. And so this is bringing up a sense of work for us today in how do we control our own desire nature and not be swept away with, whether we get angry and triggered, how do we not let those fires burn everything around us, versus, if there's a path that we're going on, how do we not get distracted by our desires? How do we maintain our spiritual path and not be, led away by our desire to escape in some matter or form. Now, the third card that we have for today is another major arcana. This is the Wheel of Fortune, and this card is associated with Jupiter and ruled by Jupiter. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is a wheel, right? Literally a wheel. It's the wheel of life, the cycles of life. And this is speaking to a major turning of that life wheel. And those shifts really do, it's like we're cruising along in life and all of a sudden something happens that is such a big change and is such a big opening that it actually offers us an opportunity to create a big shift in our life. And so it's, a turning of times, so to speak. And what's interesting is that right now, Jupiter, has been in Capricorn for the last year or so. So it's been bringing big change to social structures and social norms, because it's been in this kind of menage a trois relationship with Pluto, which is major transformation, and Saturn, which is a sense of authority. So we've all been experiencing that, but Jupiter is getting ready to shift, and it's shifting into Aquarius, which is going to mean big changes on a global scale as far as, how we interact, and we're going to see some really interesting technological solutions come about in the coming year because of what we've all been going through in this last year and this big shift that we've been going through. So not only is that shift, happening on a major scale in as far as astrologically speaking, it's also happening in our lives because it's also affecting us because we are intricately woven within this universe. So those are the cards for today. I send you a great big hug, especially those of you who are going through hard times. I hope that this change and shift offers an opening that you can step into that brings you to see and realize your highest potential. I send you a good wish, and I will see you soon. So much love to you. Bye.